I want to thank you for coming out this afternoon. Together, we are building a greener Los Angeles, and this is an example of that. And what a better place to start than with our own city services. We're here to talk about these green pails behind me, sort of green, and that combat climate change by reducing methane emissions from landfills. It's an easy and effective way that each of us can do our part in confronting this crisis. Now, this is obviously a small step to help, but added up, when everyone in the state is participating, we are going to make a real difference. We've been building on our progress addressing climate change. Just last month, Los Angeles received over $1 billion for our energy grid and to reduce carbon emissions. In order to unify our response, we have to take each initiative and say, how can we do this in a cleaner way? And that's what this is all about, answering the question, how can we make our city services greener? Today we are calling on more Angelenos to get involved in this amazing city service. Come to your local sanitation yard, library, and at community events to pick up a free pail, and I know there'll be more information about that in a little bit. I know that 2,500 pails were just handed out at the Taste of Soul block party a couple of weeks ago. I was at our sanitation booth, and this is just the beginning. We will continue to get the word out about this amazing city service. All you have to do is put your eggshells and banana peels in that bale right here and put in your green bin for sanitation to take it away. It's that simple. The reality is that climate change is here. Just 3 months ago, we braced for a hurricane. So now we know in Los Angeles, we can't look at events that take place around the country and say, that won't happen in Los Angeles. We now know that just about any weather event can happen in LA as well, until we as a nation address and embrace climate change. I am very happy and proud to say that Los Angeles and California have always been at the forefront of climate change, and this is just another example. And let me also acknowledge our California Climate Corps and our environment, and with LA Sanitation, our environmental corps. I want to thank the Deputy Mayor of Infrastructure, Randall Winston, Deputy Mayor of Energy and Sustainability, Nancy Sutley, our California Volunteer Climate Action Fellows, and everyone for coming to pick up your green pails today. And now it's my pleasure to bring up Deputy Mayor Randall Winston. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you so much, Mayor, and good afternoon, everyone. You know, the mayor is committed to greening Los Angeles and addressing our climate emergency, as he just underscored. This commitment is reflected in our policies, our budget, and our strong support for environmental programs run by our very own city departments. We are here, as you all know, and as was mentioned, to highlight one of our critical programs today, a major new city service that allows all Angelenos to compost their food scraps. Thanks to LA Sanitation, anyone with a green pail can take climate action by composting their banana peels, eggshells, chicken bones, corn cobs, used napkins, and more. You can mix these food scraps directly with your yard trimmings in the green bin and take it to the curbside on your regular collection day. We are making this change because the food that rots in land foods creates a potent climate pollutant called methane. And we can avoid that pollution by recycling those food scraps into compost. Now, composting naturally recycles organic waste like tree branches, leaves, food scraps, and dirty cardboard into a nutrient-rich soil. This age-old practice is now facilitated by the modern convenience of weekly garbage collection. And this is, again, one of the simplest climate actions that you all can take. Through a process that just is only about 90 days, LA Sanitation and their partners will process your organic waste into soil. That soil is great for farming, restoring biodiversity, and fighting climate change. Much of it gets used on farms right here in California, growing more food whose scraps can again be composted in a virtuous cycle. So we want to thank you all again for being here. We hope that you'll take climate action every day by placing your food scraps in your green cart moving forward. And now I'd like to turn to my colleague, Deputy Mayor Nancy Sutley.
Hey, I'm going to move that down a little bit. Thank you, Randall. Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, all of you, for being here. It's great to be here today to talk to you about the importance of this city service and to ensure we get the word out to Angelenos. As Randall mentioned, methane is a powerful greenhouse gas. It's 80 times more potent than carbon dioxide over a 20-year period. It's also a short-lived climate pollutant, which means it has a relatively short lifetime, but because it's both powerful and short-lived, reducing methane emissions is one of the fastest ways that we have to address the climate crisis. Now, landfills are the second largest source of methane emissions in California. Methane is produced from the decomposition of organic waste, and as a state, California set a goal to divert 75% of its organic waste from landfills by 2025. Each year, Californians throw away close to 6 million tons of food scraps and food waste, representing almost 20% of all the waste that goes into our landfills, which is why we're here with the mayor and with all of you to urge Angelenos to start composting with these green pails. By using these pails at home to collect and compost our food waste, diverting it away from the landfills, every Angeleno can be part of the solution to address the climate crisis. Under this administration, we'll continue to work urgently towards a greener Los Angeles, and composting with green pails is a great way for all Angelenos to work together to do their part in protecting the environment. It's now my pleasure to introduce James Rosca from LA Sanitation. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Sutley. Thank you, everyone. Again, we're very excited to be celebrating our food waste program, which expanded citywide at the start of this year, taking our long-standing green bin program, which has already collected yard trimmings from Angelenos for over 20 years, and really taking it to the next level in terms of diverting organic waste. LA San and our many partners have been hard at work over the last 10 months at over 100 community events, basically getting the word out to Angelenos, distributing pails, and expanding our pail distributions. We started at the beginning of the year at our 6 sanitation waste collection yards and expanded throughout the city to LA public libraries, farmers markets, community events, and partnerships with local organizations and nonprofits. We've continued to expand all of these programs with a goal set by our mayor's office to distribute over 100,000 pails to Angelenos this calendar year, which we are well on the way to meet and beat that goal by the end of December. With the continued collaboration from the mayor's office, our council districts, neighborhood councils, community organizations, and new resources from organizations such as the California Climate Action Corps, we're excited to continue getting the word out to residents and expand on all the great work we've been doing to date. We've made a lot of great progress, but there's still much more that we can continue to do. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to one of our Climate Action Corps fellows, Elsie, who's going to go into more details on how residents can get a pail from one of our sanitation locations, one of our community events, and explain the Green Bin program in a little more detail.
Thank you, Ryan, for the introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Mayor Bass, and thank you to everyone for joining us here today. My name is Elsie Edelman, and I'm one of the California Climate Action Fellows working with LA Sanitation and Environmental. I first wanted to start off to give you a brief introduction to what the California Climate Action Corps is and what we do. So the California Climate Action Corps is a year-long service program created by the California Volunteers Office and the Office of the Governor. The one that I work with was implemented by Bay Area Resources. So Climate Action Fellows, we join public agencies, tribes, nonprofits, and educational institutions to recruit volunteers and conduct outreach to drive climate actions. The 6 fellows you see here today, myself included, we have the pleasure of working with LA Sanitation and Environmental on education outreach programs, as well as edible food recovery. So now with that introduction out of the way, I wanted to go into detail about our compost pail and what exactly you can put into it. And the answer is simple. all food waste. That includes fruits, vegetables, meats, eggshells, dairy, bread. In case you can't remember all of this, the pails do have a visual guide on the front that will highlight what can go in and what cannot go in. And the purpose of the pails is to just serve as a vehicle for you to take your food scraps and leftovers into your green bin. So, how do you get one of these pails? So there's several options of how you can get your pail. So we recommend everyone to visit our website at lacitysand.org/organics. Every household within the city of LA is eligible to receive one compost pail. When you visit our website, we ask you to click the Curbside Organics Recycling Program tab on the left. From there, you will find a link in which you can enter your address and locate the nearest distribution center. And that could be one of our 6 LA sanitation collection yards, one of our public libraries, or one of our farmers markets. We also offer pail delivery door-to-door to City of Los Angeles residents. So city employees will be delivering these pails door-to-door on the weekends, and we will make sure that automated calls are made in advance to let residents know when we're going to be in their area. And now that I concluded my comments in English, I will be giving them in Spanish for our Hispanic-speaking residents. Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Elsie Edmond y soy parte del California Climate Action Corps. Les quiero dar las gracias a MayorKarenBass y todos ustedes por estar aquí con nosotros. The California Climate Action Corps es un programa de servicio creado por los voluntarios de California y la Oficina del Gobernador. El que yo trabajo fue implementado por Bay Area Community Resources. Los becarios aquí se unen con agencias públicas, tribus, organizaciones sin fin de lucro e instituciones educativas para reclutar voluntarios y realizar actividades para ayudar a promover la acción climática. Los 6 becarios que están aquí hoy, incluyendo a mí, tenemos el placer de trabajar con LA Sanitation y Environmental en educación y recuperación de alimentos orgánicos. Y ahora quiero hablar sobre el cubo de abono que mires aquí. Entonces, ¿qué se puede poner en el cubo de abono alimentario? La respuesta es sencilla: cualquier desperdicio de comida. Esto incluye frutas y verduras, lácteos, cáscaras de huevo, carne, huesos y pan. En caso de que no pueda recordar todo esto, los cubos contienen una guía visual en el frente. El cubo simplemente sirve como vehículo para llevar los restos de comida al contenedor verde. Si no tienes un cubo, puedes usar lo que quieras para llevar los restos de comida. Incluso una bolsa de papel funcionará. Solo asegúrate que la bolsa no tenga calcomanías. Cada hogar de la ciudad de Los Ángeles es elegible para recibir un cubo de abono gratis. Visite nuestro sitio web en lacitysand.org/organics y haga clic en la pestaña Programa de Reciclaje de Productos Orgánicos a la izquierda. Hay un enlace donde puede ingresar su dirección y ubicar el centro de distribución más cercano, que podría ser uno de nuestros 6 patios de recolección, bibliotecas públicas o mercados. Los empleados de la ciudad también entregan cubos a los residentes durante los fines de semana. Se realizan llamadas automáticas con anticipación para informar a los residentes cuando el equipo encontrará en su área. And with that, I conclude my comments. Thank you very much. Gracias a todos.